welcome to the Spirit Gathering for May. Today is, to check the date here, May 17th, and 2016. This is Reverend Laura Smith, and our topic for tonight is Meeting the Empress, a guided journey into the tarot card of the goddess. So welcome, and glad you were able to join us. The agenda for tonight, the format, will be as kind of a introduction to the topic, the goddess. Really the intention is for us to have an opportunity to join together and kind of attune to the goddess energy, the energy of May. It's a kind of archetypal time of year when the earth is flowering, and so the goddess archetype seems to be coming forward. So we'll kind of set up a little bit, and then we'll go into a guided meditation using a traditional method of kind of active imagination of entering into the tarot card of the Empress in our imagination. And we'll have an opportunity to ask some questions and meet the goddess and interact with her and ask a few questions. So in a couple of minutes, I'll give you a moment or two to think of some things you might like to ask the goddess. But let's set up our space tonight and with our invocation, and so we can create a sacred space together. So I will invite you to center yourself and to kind of let go of the events of the day and begin to turn your attention within, perhaps focusing on the breath and just coming into that silence. Great. And welcome. Who's joining us?
Yeah, hi. My name is Matthew.
Great. Welcome. And we're just setting up the invocation, and then we'll get started. Okay, and so imagine now that we're joining together in a circle with a light or flame or fire in the center. And imagine a spoke of light coming from the center of the circle to your heart. And for each person on the call tonight or listening in afterwards. And take a moment to sense into this, make this real. And now we are connected, sacred heart to sacred heart. And now let us set our intentions. We listen to one another with compassion and curiosity. We ask for what we need and offer what we can. We deepen our connection with one another and the divine. May this sharing serve us, our communities, and the planet. And so it is. Great. And so coming back into our council tonight, we can get ready, prepare for our journey to meet the goddess. And so, again, the time of May is traditionally a time associated with the goddess, the May Queen. And so this is an opportunity to kind of archetypally meet the goddess in the form of the Empress in the tarot tradition. And so through active imagination, we can take a journey into the card. And so I'll just describe, and if you may have a clear image of the goddess card in the tarot. There are, of course, many different tarot decks and versions of this. It's kind of an archetypal image. But you might want to even Google it as we're talking. If you don't have an image, you can do that afterwards as well. Wikipedia has a page on the tarot, the Empress in the tarot card, for example. But I will describe the card briefly, and then we'll bring it to life again in the meditation. So the card is the third card in the major arcana of the tarot, and as you may know, the major arcana are 22 cards that depict the kind of an archetypal cycle of enlightenment or the soul's journey. And so the Empress represents one of the aspects of the divine feminine, is the earth goddess, the goddess of nature, of fertility, the earth mother. And so the tarot card depicts her, a regal-looking woman who's wearing a voluptuous silken gown that is covered with pomegranates, which are a symbol of fertility, in the Rider-Waite deck of the tarot, kind of classic deck. And she's sitting on a throne that's richly draped in red velvet and cushions. She's sitting in the middle of a fertile field of wheat, and she's in a sacred grove of cypress trees and oak trees. So she's in the abundance of nature. And she holds in her right hand a scepter with an orb on the top, which may symbolize the moon. And she's wearing a crown of stars, starry crown. And this is one classic depiction of the Empress. So I'll invite everyone to take a couple of moments and write down, think of 3 questions that you would like to ask the Empress tonight as we journey to meet her. Anything you like, perhaps something about your personal life or your health or your work in the world, your ministry. Just take a moment and reflect. What would you like to ask this archetypal feminine wisdom? And take a moment to just jot that down so you can recall it in the journey. Okay, and so taking a moment to finish that. So we're going to enter into an active imagination. It will be about 15 minutes long journey, guided visualization. And so this would not be a good time to be driving or operating heavy machinery. So that is a disclaimer. So you may want to find a comfortable position that you can relax into for a few minutes. And so find yourself in a comfortable position for meditation, your spine aligned, and just take a few deep breaths in and out. And I'll just guide us through a little bit of breath, 3 cycles of 7 counts in and out. So breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathing out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And last round, breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And breathing out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. And so, in this deeper state, you let your mind become soft and begin to travel into the realms of imagination. And you find yourself in a meadow, beautiful summertime, springtime meadow, green with tall grasses, with wildflowers. And just take a moment to feel into this, to make this real. And just notice your feet. Feel your feet making contact with this ground. Feel the grass in between your toes, texture of the grass. Smell the fragrance of the flowers. Breathe in that fresh spring air. And you see a little brook, a little stream meandering through this field. Just tripping along, making little sounds. Very pretty little brook. And the sun is dancing on the ripples in the water. And you notice the play of light on the surface of the water and the sound of the water going over the smooth rocks. And you begin to follow this little brook through the meadow, walking, following along, just following where this brook leads. And after a time, you come to a little hollow in the earth behind a stone. And there's a little magical stairway going down into the earth, going down. So visualize this magical stairway going down into the earth, going down. And we will take 22 steps going down into this magical stairway, and I will count these steps. Visualize your feet, feel your feet stepping on each stair, going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, beginning to go deeper into the earth, feeling that deepening. 5, 6, 7, 8, going deeper into the earth, feeling that stairway on your feet. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, going deeper down. 13, 14, 15, 16, deepening, almost into the belly of the earth. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And so now you find yourself at the bottom of the stairs, and there's a doorway, a very magical old doorway made of wood. It has iron hinges, wrought iron hinges that look very ancient. And just picture this door and reach out if you like and touch the hardware. Just touch it and feel the texture of that ancient wood. It's a magical doorway. And so curious to see what's behind the door, you open the door. And lo and behold, there is the Empress. And you step into the tarot card of the Empress. The Empress sits on her throne, covered with ruby red velvet and silk drapings. She wears a beautiful silken robe covered with pomegranate. Around her are piled abundant fruits and flowers that smell fragrant. She's in a sacred grove of trees, in a field of ripe grain. She wears a crown of stars, and she holds a scepter in her right hand. Take a moment to picture the goddess. She smiles at you in greeting, and you stand before her and take this in. Now, recalling your 3 questions that you brought with you from the upper world, you may now ask the Empress your first question. Take a moment and ask your first question. And listen for her reply. She may speak to you, or show you an image, or make a sound. And take a moment to listen for her answer. And when you receive that answer, then take a moment to jot that down, if you wish, to make a note so that you will remember this later when you come out of this journey. And now you may ask the Empress your second question. And listen for her reply. And take a moment to make any notes so that you will remember this at a later time. And now you may ask the Empress your third question. And listen for her reply. And take a moment to write notes so that you'll remember this at a later time. And so now it is almost time to take leave of the Empress for today. But before you leave, the Empress wishes to give you a gift. Hold out your hands and receive your sacred gift from the Empress. And take in that gift integrate it so that you can carry it back to the upper world with you. And if you wish to make any notes, then go ahead and do that at this time. And take a moment to give thanks to the Empress. Knowing that you can return to this space at another time, now that you know the pathway. Now turn and go out the door by which you entered the card of the Empress. Open the handle of the door, the wooden door, and step outside. Feel and hear the door shut behind you. You see the staircase in front of you, and you start up the 22 steps. Feel them. Feel your feet on the steps going up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Getting higher, getting higher. 5, 6, 7, 8. Coming up into the upper world. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Getting closer, closer to the upper world, back into ordinary reality. 14, 15, 16, 17, almost up into the meadow. 17, 18, 19, 20, coming back. 21, 22. You find yourself in the green meadow once again. Green meadow full of wildflowers, the sun shining and the blue sky, and the little brook running along, making its music. You begin to follow the brook back to your original starting place, walking alongside, coming back. And you come back to your starting place, and you find yourself once again in ordinary reality. Begin to feel your physical body on your seat. Rub your legs. Wiggle your fingers and toes. You may want to yawn. Move your head from side to side. Open your eyes and look around. Welcome back to ordinary reality. All right, so I'll give you a moment to transition all the way back. And then the rest of our time tonight can be an open circle for sharing. And so there are kind of two focal questions. The first one, and we'll just kind of take them together, whatever anyone would like to share. So the first one is, would you like to share anything about your journey to meet the Empress? What did you receive? What were the questions? Did you have any insights or experiences that you would like to share about that? And the second question is kind of broadening out, making a connection with our work in the world and our ministries, our healing work, our service work. And so we were reflecting on how we experience and move with the energy of the goddess in our lives and in our practices. And so those questions and anything else you'd like to bring forward. so whenever you're ready and you wish to share, just go ahead and chime in. And if you muted yourself, then remember to unmute. And so the floor is open. Okay, and take your time. But again, if you would like to share, then the floor is open. Good. So would anyone like to share?
This is Diane. I will in a moment. I'm still coming back.
Okay, great. Take your time. I was beginning to wonder if people could hear me, so take your time. And
This is Lynn. I will share.
great.
Can you hear? Okay. I have difficulty. My mind tends to want to figure everything out, like what it looks like. So I'm a little challenged when it's going the stairway going down, like just kind of what does that look like? So a little bit of struggle there. But my questions were, what do I need to know or do to connect more fully to my divinity? And my answer was, I am connected every time I love and am compassionate, and that is the The other is what area of service, and I was a nurse for 45 years and retired last year, so I'm really enjoying retirement, but also realize that not sure where I should go next. And my answer has been kind of consistent to just be the love and light wherever I am. That at this point, it's not like I need to do something special, but just shine my light as fully as I can wherever I am. And how do I love myself more? And my answer was to accept my humanness. And then the gift that the Empress gave me was a red rose and a scroll that said, "You are loved," and then the words "deep wisdom." And that was my experience. So
nice.
thank you.
Thank you.
I would be curious when other people share on kind of what the visual was for them as they went down into the earth, so that I can, if I do it again, I can come up with something better than I don't have a clue. Just focus on the steps.
Well, this is Diane. I'm really visual, and I have no problem.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, are you complete?
Sorry, I am. I just wish I was more visual. So no, I'm done.
Well, I'm very visual, and I was going down these beautiful stone steps that were old, and they were going straight down, and then suddenly a curve would come in, and I thought, oh, a curve, that wasn't there a minute ago, and then it made sort of an S shape as it descended down, and then I went to a pool of water, and it was, very steamy, like a spa, and way down in the earth, and there was all this steam, and I went into it because, what are you going to do but go into the steam bath? And then the door was, Laura said the door was there, and that appeared on the other side of this steamy water bath. But it was luxurious to just soak in that and to get really relaxed, and then to sense and feel the door, and then to step in was sort of like another garden of really brilliant spring green. And the goddess for me was in sort of had a lot of green around her. I think she had on, just as the suggestion at the beginning, a sheer sort of etheric gown, I guess, but that she had green around her too, around her head, and like ivy or something, and then there was some green scarf around her as well, and very loving and very sacred, it felt like. Yeah. And I felt kind of rushed. I didn't have time for each of the questions to fully sit and get more of an answer. But at the last piece of the gift was, opening my hands, and just this heart energy and love was just permeating my hands, and that was really nice. And then the door, go through the door, and the door closed, and it was, stepping into that wonderful steamy water again, and then up the steps. So it felt really nice, and then coming back to all the green up on the earth, and just very peaceful. So it was a nice journey. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
And can I ask you, what if the stones, so you could see the stones, but what else was there around that? Like, all I could think of is it's just earth and dark.
Yeah, dark.
Okay.
It was just dark, and what needed to be seen were the steps, and they were very much sand-colored and marble, kind of a mix of that tan and whitish stone, very old, and sort of worn and not totally smooth always, but just, very, just really beautiful, and just, leading to this deeper place. And I kept, when we were like on step 12 or 13, I thought, oh, well, we can't go any deeper. And then, sort of more of a bottom would drop out so that there was more depth to continue penetrating and going deeper.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Nancy.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, okay. So thank you for that journey. It was so beautiful, and I really felt it. In fact, that's why I hesitated to talk also. It took a while to come out. So there were these themes to this journey for me. Just for Lynn, I mean, I tend to be visual also, And I first started going down a hole that was not very big. It was like maybe 10 or 15 feet in diameter. And I realized that it was like going down one of these homemade tiny spiral staircases, and I couldn't go. I really couldn't do it. And then I kind of widened my vision and used my imagination, and the whole thing opened up, and I was going down a staircase with a very less of a steep slope, and it was easy to go down. It had kind of a rope handle as I was going down it, and it looked like being in the gigantic excavation in the earth, and the earth was a light tan. So the hole went from being small in diameter and deep and dark to open and kind of beautiful, just being in the earth. And then the room, the opening to the room, it was like a chamber, actually, with the wooden door. And then inside, I have to say, this was a surprise to me, but the goddess, I wasn't sure what to expect. On some level, I think that I was expecting maybe a loving, warm, overflowing Earth Mother. And the Empress to me she was in red, as was described, red velvet and almost severe colors. And and she was very, very powerful, and I didn't find her warm. I didn't find her negative. I found her to be like the essence of female power, which was just kind of a surprise to me. And she was holding in her arm a staff of some sort, which was also red. And so without going into specifics really, but I asked about my health and some body pain I'm having at the moment. I asked if I was missing anything for my healing path that I needed to know about. And I asked about my relationship and with my husband, and every single one of the answers fell into the same couple of categories. And so I just thought I'd say what those were, because there just was this incredible theme that clearly the goddess, going to the goddess deep in the earth, was the symbol of going deep within myself to the deeper feminine inside me, and that the answers fell into the category of, number one, that everything I need is already inside me, and just like the goddess is inside me, and that it's all here, and that I have, number one, to allow it, and number two, to claim it, particularly my power, my authority, and also my magic. And my gift actually was a live wizard who I've met many times before, but he fit in the palm of my hand, and he was completely alive. And when we were asked to embody it or integrate it, I just, brought the wizard within. So that theme again of, the magic and the ability to transform and transmute is again inside. And with the power that's inside, to not be afraid of it, but to own it. So that's it.
Wow, thank you.
Hi, this is Sally.
Hi.
And I'm not very visual, so on this kind of journey, it's more sensing what's going on, kind of sensing the feel of stepping downstairs versus having real vision of the surroundings. I kind of got glimpses of the door, a little of the field, but I didn't have any sense of, a woman figure or anything. For me, it was more like just sensing a presence and a kind of energy. And I related to what Nancy just said about this, being a very powerful energy, but in a way it was very kind of gentle in its own way. I've been doing a course on Shakti energy and all the, Indian goddesses and with Saraswati and all. And, I mean, the energy transmission I've gotten from those has been much more definitive, and it's almost like comparing Pace energy to the golden energy. And this was more like golden energy, where it was very fine and, gentle. It didn't just go boom kind of thing. So when I went to receive the gift, I felt that I was getting an energy transmission, but as I say, it didn't have that kind of light beam quality to it. And then what came through, and again, it was similar to what Nancy just said, that this program I'm working on is about manifesting the soul destiny. And, what we're working on is just this almost like mantra that, the mantra there is, but then the translation of it is asking the soul to remember all that has been done. And as I've worked with that, it's, I've been dealing with some health things and just asking my body, my soul, to remember that perfection that I am, the harmony, the love, all of those higher virtues which put things in divine order. And with that divine order, there is none of this disease. And so that came up for me as an answer to kind of my question of, bringing it around to this sense of accessing that divine feminine, that perfection of the balance of masculine and feminine. And that's pretty much it. I mean, coming back up, it was the same kind of thing of just, feeling this sense of stepping upward, like I was marching up a flight of stairs kind of thing, and just kind of feeling that contact and moving from, one space of consciousness to another space of consciousness. So thank you. It was a lovely journey.
Thank you.
This is Nancy Johansson, and I too really enjoyed the journey. At first, like Nancy Rubin had said, when I was going down the stairs, they felt narrow. It just felt a little narrow and dark. And so I asked that they widen out and be more spacious. And instantly there was room on either side, and the stairwell was light, as if there was a skylight above, just shining down. And opening the door, I really only saw the face of the goddess. I didn't notice her chair or throne. I didn't notice what she was wearing, or really anything about the room itself. But her face just had a beautiful and profound countenance. I noticed her long dark hair, blue eyes, dark blue eyes, and her energy felt calm, very deep, insightful, calm. I felt a lot of strength in her being. And I asked the questions. One had to do with my painting work, and I was asking about, if I was on the right track with that, because I'm working in a new way. And she affirmed this new path that I'm on. And I also asked about, I do a lot of work in gardens here at the house in an orchard. And I've been working with the fairy folk somewhat recently, more recently, this spring. And I was asking about that, and she affirmed what I've experienced, which is I only have to bring them to mind to feel the presence of the nature spirits working in harmony. And the last question was the most important to me, and it had to do with what are my most important tasks in this lifetime. And she said immediately to love, to create, and to heal. And I asked which was the most important of those three, and she basically said all are. When it was time to be offered a gift, I saw a golden ball. It looked like the sun that she handed to me. And, I said, this golden ball looks like the sun. And she said, it is. Shine on all around you in your being, your painting, your writing, your work in orchard and garden, and all you do. And it was a very intimate sharing. And as some have said previously, I felt that I could have used more time at several steps along the way. As it was, I kind of scribbled down my answers and so on, things that happened. But it was such a fruitful, rich, deep, like good soil to plant seeds in, that I think this could expand into an even longer journey for many of us. And just in general, it felt lush like the spring and like the gardens now, just full of potential growth. So thank you so much. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Okay, and would anyone else like to share before we move towards closing our circle for tonight? Okay, so we can begin to bring our meeting to closure for this evening. And so we can just take a moment to check out as a circle. And so I'll just invite each person to kind of chime in with one word as a way of closing our circle, just one word that captures how you're feeling now. And so you can just chime in popcorn style when you're ready.
Gratitude.
Fertile.
Determined.
Nurtured.
Divinity.
Heart-centered.
Honored. All right, great. Did we miss anyone there? Okay, terrific. So we'll move towards closing. And so thank you for joining us, this spirit gathering tonight. The call will be archived as an MP3 at www.tzaddi.org. Phone access to the recording of the call is available until next month's call. For playback of the recording, dial 718-432-1085. Access code 990322#. So we hope you will join us for our next spirit gathering, which will be on Tuesday, June 21st. So I believe that is the solstice or very close to it. And we don't yet have a presenter, but we will be having our next gathering on that date. These calls are hosted by Tzaddi, an interspiritual metaphysical organization founded in California in 1964. Tzaddi welcomes, nurtures, and supports people in celebrating and more directly experiencing their relationship with the loving presence of the divine. Our programs are open to people of any race, color, or national or ethnic origin. Visit www.tzaddi.org to learn more. We will close now with thanks and a blessing. Thanks to Tzaddi founders Amy Keyes and Dorothy Blackmere. Thanks to all of you who have been a part of our community tonight. And thanks to the divine who supports us always, even when we are not aware of it. And so by way of a blessing tonight, I was reminded of a Gnostic poem, a mystery poem that I have really found profound in the past, and it's called Thunder Perfect Mind. And it is a poem that is the voice of Sophia, who is the Gnostic goddess of wisdom. So this is a kind of another manifestation of the goddess in her more numinous aspect. So I will read a short passage from Thunder Perfect Mind. I was sent forth from the power, and I have come to those who reflect upon me, and I have been found among those who seek after me. Look upon me, you who reflect upon me, and you, hearers, hear me. For I am the first and the last. I am the honored one and the scorned one. I am the whore and the holy one. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother and the daughter. I am the members of my mother. I am the barren one, and many are her sons. I am she whose wedding is great, and I have not taken a husband. I am the midwife, and she who does not bear. I am the solace of my labor pains. I am the bride and the bridegroom, and it is my husband who begot me. I am the mother of my father and the sister of my husband, and he is my offspring. I am the slave of him who prepared me. I am the ruler of my offspring, but he is the one who begot me before the time on a birthday, and he is my offspring in due time, and my power is from him. I am the staff of his power in his youth, and he is the rod of my old age. And whatever he wills happens to me. I am the silence that is incomprehensible, and the idea whose remembrance is frequent. I am the voice whose sound is manifold, and the word whose appearance is multiple. I am the utterance of my name. So with that blessing, I wish everyone a good night and hope to see you again. So thank you very much.